呈现，观众朋友大家好，欢迎收看本期的欧洲大观，我是黄杰。今天的节目都有哪些精彩看点呢？历史悠久的普拉特公园，权力殿堂内的摄影师，橡木碳烤大比目鱼。麒麟厄姆城堡是一个著名的幽灵堡，这个建于13世纪的古堡一直都是抵御苏格兰人进攻的要塞，无数的杀戮曾经在这里发生。推开古堡咯吱作响的大门，一股阴冷潮湿的霉味扑面而来。据说在这里住一晚，还能听见隔壁幽灵女孩扔石子的声音。想想这些画面，让人不寒而栗。
The sound of a spirit making contact. But let's turn the clock back and begin with Mike Krüger's arrival at the 13th century castle. For hundreds of years, Chillingham served as a stronghold against the Scots and was the scene of many a bloody clash.
If you believe in ghosts, this might be the perfect place to meet them. And we will see what will happen tonight.
Chillingham is one of Britain's most famous haunted castles. Ghost fans come here from all over in search of paranormal experiences. But on this particular day, the castle is almost deserted. A caretaker and his family live here, and the owner, Sir Humphrey Wakefield, who purchased it in the early 80s. Some of the rooms are open for guests. On Micah's first stroll around, everything smells musty. There are antiques everywhere gathering dust. Actually, it's very quiet here, but even so, you're always hearing something. This strange creaking, for example. I'll go and check it out. A door that seems to be moving by itself. But is it really a spook? Hopefully, it's just the wind. Not a soul around anywhere, or is there? The only one to materialize here is the caretaker's wife.
Outside it's really very spooky because it's so dark.
Just to be sure she wasn't missing anything, Micah booked a ghost tour with an experienced ghost hunter. 19 others joined the tour, but none of them stayed overnight.
And they'll go around the castle with you.
Why are you here? Why are you booked the ghost tour?
We thought it'd be good for a group of friends to get together and see some ghosts.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
It's interesting. It's going to be a good laugh tonight, I think.
Yeah? And you're not scared at all?
No, that's what I see.
Okay.
No.
First, Graham Burney takes the group into the woods, where criminals, traitors, and many innocent people were hanged. He says ghost sightings have often been reported here among the tree branches, but the only high spirits here are our own. Then we descend into the torture chamber, where lots of blood flowed. The worst torturer of all, John Sage, is said to haunt Chillingham Castle still.
The spirit travels with you. So you can be in the torture room, you could sense a spirit near you, it could be the torturer. But just because he's fascinated with you, he could follow you into the next room. So that's what we explain to people. When they say, what's the most haunted room? It's all haunted, because the spirit follow you about. So it doesn't matter which room you're in, even the apartments, they're there.
Look.
Then we head straight into the Spectre's lair. The castle ghosts are said to appear and even touch visitors in the King's Room and Great Hall. Graham douses the lights, but he's warned us that the ghosts have been known to bite and scratch. Some of the group hear voices and knocking, or feel something touch them. The fear and excitement are starting to have an effect. The ghost tour ends just after midnight in the Minstrels Hall, but the haunting goes on.
So the next time, there's a lot of shadow movement.
I felt somebody touch the back of my ear, like just gentle strokes around the back of my ear. But I wasn't scared. I was just nice and calm, and that was such a surreal experience.
I heard it was in the Great Hall when I was standing in the corner.
Yeah?
I heard a growl.
I didn't feel anything, but now, in the end of the day, I really feel tired.
But was it a bona fide ghost? There's no way of knowing. At any rate, this trip was far more spine-tingling than expected.
已经有250年历史的普拉特公园是一个让人肾上腺素飙升的地方。这里不仅有蜿蜒起伏的过山车和极致刺激的太空梭，还有温柔些的高达117米的秋千。但最让当地人喜爱的还是公园内的摩天轮，历经2次世界大战的洗礼，依然屹立不倒。这里也早已经成为了维也纳著名的城市地标。
The Prater has plenty to offer for adrenaline junkies. You can loop the loop or let off steam on one of the side shows. For a real stomach-churning experience, you could try the space shot or the gentler Prater Turm at 117 meters, said to be the world's highest-flying swing carousel.
The first 30 seconds feel suicidal.
It was exhilarating. It was awesome.
The buildings of Vienna are much smaller and you can hardly see the people.
Then there's Vienna's famous Ferris wheel. All 15 carriages have been renewed for this anniversary year. It still has the traditional look, but there are more windows and a little more comfort. The Weinberger family from Germany are giving it a whirl.
I feel quite woozy, so I'm staying in the middle.
It's
great to say I've been on it.
It's great here because you can see so much.
The Ferris wheel also features in a new exhibition on the history of the Prater Park at the Vienna Museum. The wheel was nearly torn down in 1916 as steel was needed for the war effort, but there was no money available for the demolition.
Es hat den Ersten Weltkrieg überlebt, es hat
It survived the First World War and even the Second World War, which was quite a miracle because the entire park was practically destroyed during the war. But the basic structure of the big wheel was left standing, and when the park was reopened in 1947, it felt hugely significant in terms of rebuilding Vienna.
The exhibition captures the mood of a bygone era. The park has provided inspiration for writers, composers and painters. The Viennese Circus and Clown Museum also documents the entertainment industry of yesteryear. Here we discover the Prater Park once included a so-called freak show, which included acts like Fat Mitzi, whose huge underpants are now on display here. Director Robert Caldicaro, himself a magician at the Prater, explains the fascination of the show.
People weren't familiar with these things from magazines or TV because it didn't exist. The only way to experience it was here live at the Prater. And the artists here had the advantage that they were respected in their group and they were able to feed their families.
Today, the Prater continues to reinvent itself. This interactive snow ride through Antarctica is one of the newer attractions. Then there's the ultra-modern skydiving attraction.
Anyone can go skydiving here from the age of 8 to 99. As long as you feel fit enough, there's no age limit.
Florian and Eva Maria Weinberger have opted for more conventional fairground entertainment, the bumper cars. After that, it's on to the sideshows, where they're hoping to win a cuddly toy.
I'd like to have won the dragon, but unfortunately, I didn't make it.
But they did get 2 smileys as a consolation prize. Anyone who has had enough of all the fun of the fair can stroll next door to what's known as the Green Prater, a park spanning 6 square kilometres. It's a popular place for the Viennese to relax, just as it was 250 years ago.
维耶利奇卡盐矿于1978年被联合国教科文组织列为世界遗产。如今，这个位于地底深处的世界早已对游人开放。顺着蜿蜒的楼梯下去，发现里面别有洞天。不仅有采矿工人用岩雕琢的人像，还有一个专为遇难矿工祈祷的教堂。花上一些钱，甚至可以在这个教堂举办一场盛大的婚礼。
A world deep below the surface, with its own chapel, a spa, and a mining workshop for tourists. We've come to the former Velichka salt mine. For 7 centuries, table salt was mined here. Today, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, with around 1 million tourists every year.
I read about this and I'm a tourist student, so I know perfectly what is inside. So expectation is big.
I came recommended by my friend, so yeah, let's just go.
There are 2 ways to descend into this underworld. You can take the stairs, or if you're in a hurry, there's the elevator. The mine's 9 levels lie between 64 meters and 135 meters below the surface. More than 2,000 chambers were created by the mining process. Now you'll find fascinating items such as sculptures made of rock salt, carved by the miners. After walking around for an hour through the tunnels and chambers, visitors will come upon the mine's greatest attraction, the Chapel of St. Kinga. Built around 1895, 110 meters below the surface.
Usually 3-4 miners died here every year because of different accidents. So miners wanted to have places to pray. That's why they carved chapels, and that's why in chapels they carved religious figures.
Religious services are held regularly in the Kinga Chapel, and couples can even get married underground if they donate at least 1,100 euros. During their tour, this choir was inspired to sing. The chapel has become famous for its acoustics and for its many details, such as chandeliers made of rock salt.
We don't have like this place in Indonesia, so this is very amazing for us, you know, even though for me, myself, I come for the few times, but I'm still impressed with this place. This is very beautiful.
Visitors can also experience how it might have felt to work in a salt mine by taking a different tour. Going on the authentic miner's route requires professional equipment, and some physical strength is needed to extract the rock salt.
This tour is very interesting. You can learn how things used to be here.
But it's not just tourists who come to the Velichka salt mine. A below-ground health resort promises relief for people who suffer from chronic respiratory illnesses, such as asthma or certain allergies. The clinic, 135 meters underground, is a unique spa location, offering an especially beneficial microclimate.
It is the high relative humidity, stable constant temperature, and high concentration of natrium chloride in the air. The air is free for any pollutants which are abundant on the surface, and from allergens like pollen and other small particles.
And anyone who hasn't had enough after a 3-hour tour can even sleep here. Overnight stays are the latest attraction in Velichka.
摄 影师伯格创作了一部关于德国国会大厦的摄影集。这是一座新文艺复兴式的建筑，穹顶为现代风格的玻璃墙面，出自英国名家之手。国会内部也收集了绘画和雕塑之类的艺术品，不仅装饰了大厦的内墙，还成为了议员办公室的事务。所有这些精彩的细节都成为了伯格镜头关注的对象。
The German Chamber of Parliament, images familiar to TV viewers around the globe. American photographer Kermit Berg had exclusive access to the Bundestag, but he was less interested in the politicians than in the halls of power themselves. A conference room, a walkway, a committee room, a wall clock, a hallway, or this vote-counting device.
I want my images to be inspired by the trust in the process that takes place here, but I'm more interested in telling that story by virtue of the architecture in which the governing takes place.
Berg could only take pictures when Parliament wasn't in session, and even then the plenary chamber was off limits. Still, he had lots of freedom.
I mean, the permissions were, given openly. As we said, this is a wall of voting cards inside these cabinets, and they were opened for me. They showed me one of the images that has been acquired through this project is of this exact wall open.
On the outside, the Reichstag is a neo-Renaissance building with a modern glass dome, built by British star architect Norman Foster. Inside, the rooms are modern and airy. Since 1969, the Bundestag has been collecting artworks. The pictures and sculptures grace the walls of the Bundestag and the offices of its MPs. Andreas Kernbach acts as the curator. Of course, we're always looking for works which have some connection to Parliament and to politics. What's special about Kermit Berg is that, in this case, the Art Advisory Board commissioned him to produce works that show this connection. And that was our hope here too. That by employing a variety of perspectives of parliamentary goings-on, parliamentary architecture, the spirit of parliamentarianism, he'd make politics come alive. The Bundestag has already bought 10 of Berg's pictures. He was also fascinated by these loudspeakers. In an age where we're constantly bombarded with images, he focuses on objects people often overlook.
If they spend any time with my pictures, they will come away with a very in-depth knowledge of part of that environment instead of a blur of that environment where they don't remember anything clearly, they haven't seen any details properly, they haven't seen any shadows, so they won't remember any shadows. All the things that make that room alive have been missed.
During his visits, Berg explores as much as possible. He stumbled upon the Bundestag's reference library. In a place like Parliament, where the word reigns supreme, it exudes a special aura. Here he finds all the minutes of parliamentary debates from the days of the German Empire through the Weimar Republic to the present day.
It's not cold by any means. It's a very inviting room, but it's completely aesthetic in its presentation. And then I began reading exactly what is on the books, what they are, and the history. I'm very interested in German history. I come from a German background.
Kermit Berg was particularly interested in the minutes of the East German Roundtable, talks held just after the fall of the Berlin Wall. They were dedicated to advancing the process of reform in East Germany. While searching for motifs, Berg discovered works by other artists, like the installation Archive of German Members of Parliament by Frenchman Christian Boltanski. Its 5,000 metal boxes are labeled with names of past MPs. Then there's the 4 rowing boats Christiane Möbis has suspended from the ceiling of the new Jakob Kaiser building. Seen through the lens of his camera, Kermit Berg provides a new perspective on the German parliamentary building and on German politics.
卡诺的家庭餐厅因一道橡木炭烤大比目鱼的菜而远近闻名。这是一道非常有巴斯克特色的菜肴，食材取自当地捕获的新鲜大比目鱼，用盐仔细腌制后，配上餐厅精致的酱料，再放上炭火，慢慢的烘烤，直到鱼肉滋滋冒泡后，方可装盘，无需其他配菜点缀，美味自然天成。
Aitor Aregi is the proprietor and head chef of El Carno. He's paying his daily visit to the port of Getaria, a small town in the Basque country on Spain's Atlantic coast. This is where he always gets the fish for his restaurant. The menu depends on the catch of the day. Aitor has a chat with the fishermen. Getting on with them is key.
It's the most important thing, because if I don't know who fish and where they fish, it's so difficult to know that the fish is okay. And if they know us and we know him in generation, we know how we are and we know with what we work.
Aitor Aregi took over the restaurant in the town centre from his father. Turbot is among the house specialities, but there are other fish on the menu too. The fishermen set the price, there's no haggling. This ensures that the chef gets the best quality. And there are many ways of determining this.
To know where the fish eat, because what they eat they are. To be near when they are, so fish near is to be fresh. And the concept of the season of the fishes. All the year is not the same if they are before making babies, after making babies.
Grilled fish is a typical Basque speciality. The coals have to burn for at least 2 hours before they are ready.
The most important thing is the concept of to know the fish, and then it's one way to how to cook. The charcoal is a so clean charcoal, and they grilled, but the concept is not in the grill, the concept is in the fish.
Before it goes on the grill, it's important to salt the turbot on both sides. Aitor Aregi has dressed up to do the barbecuing. His shirt is spotless, but not the basket for grilling the fish. There is a good reason though.
If we clean, the skin breaks, and then the fire is in the meat and it's drier. And it's so important for us that that the turbot grills in his skins.
Agua de Lourdes is a concoction of vinegar, oil and salt. It's served with the fish. To make sure the fish reaches the right temperature, experience is crucial. It should be ready after 12 minutes, but Aitor doesn't need a timer.
You look and it's like the fish is speaking to you. I am ready. I am ready. This is like that. You see here, come here. You see, puff, puff, puff. You see? Like a volcano? It's because it's good eat. This is the gelatin that we want to take out.
Afterwards, the fish bones have to be removed. Aitor Aregi's father learned how to do this by watching the local fishermen. Before it is served, a little more agua de Lourdes is needed. At the El Carno, the turbot gets served on its own, without potatoes or vegetables. There's enough for 3 people. The chef serves the best bits in person. The taste differs depending which part of the fish the flesh comes from. But whether it's from the dark top or the lighter part underneath, springtime is the best season to enjoy grilled turbot.
阿特森这 正在邀请他的朋友们参加在超市中的 disco 购物。每到周六晚上，正常营业结束后，喝着免费啤酒的人们在劲爆的音乐中尽情地扭动着身肢，热了还能在超市的冷藏区降降温。舞会结束后，人们带着塞满杂货的购物袋满意地离开。当然，别忘了去超市门口结账哦。
Boogieing between the aisles. 700 people descended on a supermarket in Berlin on Saturday night, transforming it into an after-hours party venue. The event's attraction included free beer, non-stop hits from a DJ team, and even bowling.
It's so boring going out shopping groceries, but now it's fun.
You get to meet people.
We've been partying for 30 years, but never once in a supermarket.
Just 2 hours before, it was business as usual at the grocery store, with no sign of what was to come after hours. But 3 friends from the Netherlands were already getting ready to party. Their students have come from Amsterdam especially for the disco shopping night. They've already been to 2 similar parties in supermarkets.
I think it's a very exclusive place to throw a party. It's weird. It's just weird to dance between your bread and your pastas and your vegetables.
During the disco, the foodstuffs stay where they are. After closing time, the sales floor morphs into a dance floor. A brewery supplies free drinks. Organizer Joost Aartsen and his friends held their first supermarket disco in Amsterdam in April.
Everybody does groceries, and if you does over and over again the same thing, and you can transform a thing was really people really used to, and now you make it extraordinary, big and crazy, and I think people are gonna love it. We're gonna find out today.
Partying in unusual venues at odd times isn't new. In many European cities, like here in London, people go clubbing in the mornings before work. Or at noon they attend lunch beat parties, such as here in Stockholm. Dancing in the streets or even in the subway, like here at a flash mob party in Berlin. Back to Saturday night, and the supermarket manager is having a look around. He's curious to see what the disco organizers have done to the store. But he's not too worried.
I get the feeling that everyone's waiting for a disaster and the party hasn't even got underway. But I'm quite sure it'll be really relaxed and everyone will have fun. And of course, it's a really special occasion to let loose on the dance floor.
No one's allowed in yet, but Luna Huygen's already in a party mood. The doors open at 11 p.m. on the dot. Admission costs just under €10, but for that, guests get a goodie bag filled with groceries. Security guards make sure people don't take items from the store shelves, but the party mood even gets to them. But even here, there's a limit to the fun. The party lasts exactly 2.5 hours. Still, that's enough time for a round of bowling and a chill-out session in the refrigeration section.
It's like a normal party that go on, and now we have a free party without any drinks for half an hour, and people get really excited for the moment to open up the doors. And it's such a short time of period where you can do it, and it's only a once-in-a-lifetime experience that I think people are really energetic to get the best out of it.
Along with Luna Huygen, 60 other people from the Netherlands have traveled to Berlin especially for the party. She says it was worth the trip.
I mean, look at me, I'm all sweaty. And my glitters are falling off, and it's amazing.
Shop and bop till you drop. It's a trend that could soon be coming to a supermarket near you.
时尚欧洲精彩呈现，感谢您收看本期的欧洲大观，我是黄杰，下期同一时间我们再见。